everyone, I'm Jack Chapple. I upload business videos pretty much every day, so hit that subscribe button if you want to see those. Now let's get started here. Today we are talking about 3 ways that the average person can get rich. Now this week I have 2 videos coming out that are a little bit similar to this one, but I wanted to dive deep on this one. So 3 ways that the average person can get rich. So I've mentioned this before about how people have the misconception about the 1%. So people think that everyone in the 1% is a banker or is in the financial industry in some sort of way. That's only about 14% of the wealthy people. Now, the vast majority of the people in the 1% are either doctors, lawyers, or executives. All of those 3 things generally require a medical degree, a law degree, or a master's in business. Those 3 things. So we're not going to talk about that. Those are not average people. Those are people that spend their lives in school. We're talking about how the average person can get rich today. And I'm going to give you guys a hint. Staying at your employee job probably won't help that much. You can. I'm going to talk about one way where you can still doing that. But we're more going to talk about some, I don't know, not so much discussed ways that the average person can get rich. So we're going to mention number 1 here. Number one way. This is interesting. So I'm going to give you 2 points here. I don't even know how to spell this correctly, actually. Commission-based. Oh, and that is not writing there. So okay. We're just going to write commission. All right? For whatever reason, it's not writing on there. So a commission-based job. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be commission-based. So I'll give you 2 examples here. If you want to get paid more money at your job, tie yourself to the money. Tie yourself to the revenue, to the dollar amount. Too many people out there are getting paid $40,000 a year, and they think they should be getting paid $60,000, but at the end of the day, they are not tied to the bottom line. You know who the most valuable people are in a company? It's the salespeople. Now, sure, some of you are probably going like, oh, engineers and all that. Okay, sometimes yes. But largely, it's salespeople. Without any sales in a company, then the company wouldn't exist. The company would go bankrupt. Salespeople are the most important person in a company. So here's what I would recommend, is whatever company you're working at, whether it's, if it's some sort of corporate company and you have a corporate job, ask if you can get paid doing your job. But you can also ask if you can get paid to sell their product, whatever the company's product is, and get a commission. So you can be a part-time salesperson for the company. Most companies will say yes. You'd be surprised. And so that's something you need to do to get rich. You can't have a cap on your earnings. So we're going to move on to the second part of this right now. So commission-based jobs. Now, I do recommend that if you really want to get rich, and you really want to make some money, have a job that doesn't have a cap to start with. So my choice, the one that I chose, was a real estate agent. I wanted to become a real estate agent, get my real estate license, because there was no cap on how much I could earn. Saying that, I have this video on risk tolerance that's probably coming out or may have come out already. And you could make $0 as a real estate agent, or you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars as a real estate agent. People aren't willing to take that risk. And if you are, it can turn out very well for you, or it could turn out poorly. But that's the thing. At least you don't have a cap. You have no upper limit on how much you can earn. You do have a lower limit, that lower limit 0, but you have no upper limit. You aren't locked into a $40,000 a year contract job. So think of a commission-based job that you can have. Mine was real estate. Maybe yours is like YouTube videos or something along those lines. Maybe yours is affiliate marketing. What's yours? What's yours? Mine was becoming a real estate agent. So maybe you guys want to follow along those lines. Anything where you are an agent of some sort, odds are you have no cap. And if you're a salesperson, odds are you have no cap either. So you're going to want to get into, at least learn how to sell in some sort of way. In whatever field you're in. That'll make you a lot more valuable. So, anyways, 3 ways the average person can get rich. We talked about commission-based, so no cap on your earnings. That's the most important thing. Try to find a job with no cap, or where you can potentially increase your income over time. And we're going to move on to number 2 here. Investing. We're going to talk about a few options actually. So if you work at a corporate company, odds are you have several ways that you can invest. You can invest in a 401k, a Roth IRA, but those are a little bit rip-off, so don't worry about those. Or you have Social Security, but you're going to want to invest in some other way. You're going to want to invest in stocks, ETFs, index funds, low-cost mutual funds. You might want to get stock options with your company. You know what? It's funny is that I was reading this story of Google about how the first 100 employees at Google that took stock options, they became multimillionaires, a lot of them. I remember actually this one specific story, a chef for Google. A full-time chef for Google, he was employee number like 63, and there was a documentary on him. And he invested tens of thousands of dollars in stock options in like 1998 or something, or some year around there. And as you guys know, Google in 1998 was very, very small. And what happened 15 years later, he sold a large portion of his stock options for I think $5 to $10 million. So if you're at one of those companies, a startup company, you might want to invest in stock options. There's lots of young tech companies out there. If you're employee 10, 20, 50, 100, it might be worth looking into. Those can have a big return on investment in the future, especially if the company goes public in the future. So investing. This could also be in real estate. I love real estate. Tax deductions are one of the best investments you can make in your life. So investing in real estate, you get these giant tax deductions, and you can write off 4% of the property's value as depreciation. You can write off the interest on the loan. You can write off any business expenses you accumulate or housing expenses along the way. That's important. So investing is way number 2 that the average person can get rich. Just investing on the side while staying at their current job. Now number 3, this is the way that you can be. I think that number 3 is the biggest way. Number 3 is the way where you will become happy afterwards. Number 3 is a side business. This is, in my Wealth Accelerator program, which you can check out, link in this description below, I talk about this a lot, especially in the last half of the course, about how to build a side business, and there's certain key points along the way while you're building your side business where it can be the difference between you failing and having to stay at your 9-to-5 job, or you becoming a millionaire or making 6 figures like I am right now. And I'm now almost certain that I'm going to make 6 figures. So I'm actually proud to announce that to you guys too, because that was my goal at the beginning of the year. It's almost a certainty. I think it's going to happen even hopefully before September, which would be really cool. Probably a few months left. So side business. Everyone that, usually most people that start some sort of business, it starts out as a side business, or it starts out as a secondary thing. You hear all these stories about people starting companies in university, like Facebook started in university. I don't know if Microsoft did. Did Bill Gates drop out? I'm not sure. But starting a side business while you are at your current job or in school, that is one of the easiest ways for you to become wealthy in the future. Well, it's not easy to build a side business. I talk about that in the Accelerator program too. It's not easy. It requires a lot of work. But it can easily be one of the ways where you can make a lot of money really quick, I guess. For me, I built up my side businesses in the last 2 years essentially. And I went from having them be generating $0 a year to 6 figures. And now it's my main job, and now I'm a lot happier now. So a side business, that is the third thing that you can do to get rich if you're an average person, some sort of side hustle. Now, what is it for you? Maybe you want to become a consultant on the side. Maybe you want to build up an internet company or an app. Or maybe you want to, you can take up a commission-based job on the side as well. Yeah, there was a story about how, I'll tell you one of my stories. So when I was getting my real estate license, I was pretty much doing consulting work to pay for it. But I was also looking at other commission-based jobs to take while getting my real estate license. So I was actually looking at, there's giant telecommunication companies that pay you purely on commission. So there's a lot of companies where, like telecommunication companies, ones that offer you internet, phone services, cable, etc., and they will pay you a large amount of commission, because what happens is with those companies is that they'll pay you a commission, but they get a recurring revenue. If you get a customer and you can make $500 by getting one customer, it's because they are a recurring customer, and a lot of the times they'll stick with the same program for 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years. They'll pay $150 a month for their service. You pick up $500 total, and everyone's happy. Except maybe the customer hates the telecommunications provider. But at the end of the day, those are the companies you're going to want to look for if you want to have a commission-based job, the ones with recurring revenue after a sale. So this can be anything from things that require maintenance. I know one of my friends actually, he makes money selling jacuzzis and pools along those lines. And so he talks to me about how, yeah, sure, the companies make a lot of money selling a jacuzzi. They'll make whatever, $1,000, $2,000 here, $3,000. But the main source of revenue comes in the installation and the maintenance that happens over time, usually once a year. That's where the real money comes in. So you're going to want to think about something along those lines if you're going to take a commission-based job. Ones where when you sell something, it's recurring revenue. Multi-level marketing. That's something you guys could look into. Multi-level marketing, where you can sell something which has a recurring. So I'll give you the example that I was offered. So I was offered I was offered equity in a company where you can make money two ways. One is using the service, which is essentially an advertising service. This is actually a little bit hard to explain. So there was this app where you could run Facebook ads, and if someone clicks on your ad and buys your own product, whatever you're selling, you'll get a phone call. Or you'll get a bunch of information with the customer's phone number. So you call them the second that they sign up for whatever the service is. For me, it would have been real estate until I quit. And so that's one way where you could make money. And then the second way was that if I were to get people to use this service over time, which is about $500 a month, $500 to $2,000 a month, use that exact same service that I was going to use for real estate, I would pick up $200 per month of the $500. So if I were to get 5 people, that would be $1,000 a month in recurring revenue. So things along those lines, where recurring revenue, that's something that you guys will want to look at. So that's sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent here, but those are the three key ways that the average person can get rich. Commission-based job, potentially on the side. Investing, I've told you guys the stories of, read the book The Millionaire Next Door, about how the vast majority of millionaires make between $50,000 to $60,000 to $70,000 a year, but they've invested their money for 5 decades, and it adds up over time to the point compound interest adds up. They reinvest all of that, and they're millionaires by the time they retire. So that's another way. Side business, if you don't want to wait to invest for 5 decades, side business is probably the quickest. Actually, you know what? Side business and commission-based jobs, you can get wealthy pretty fast by doing those if you do them properly. Usually the rule is you're going to eat 1 to 2 years of shit where you don't make any money from either one of those things, and then after that you will start making a lot of money. So I would say that these commission-based and side business, those are ways for you to get wealthy in the next 2 to 5 years, and investing is a way for you to get wealthy in the next 20 to 50 years. So I think that's going to wrap this video up. So shameless plug, check out the Wealth Accelerator program in the link below, and it's going to help you learn a lot about building wealth and everything along those lines. And so I'll end that shameless plug. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next video.